we have the softwares that we will be using. It's one Tabby for draws and ballots. Then we have Discord for the tournament debate to take place. We have Google Meet. If you guys have a, or all teams are okay with shifting to Google Meet, you can do that as well. And the WhatsApp for all relevant announcements and stuff. Then you would have received your private URLs in your emails, which are provided with us. Please go ahead and check if you have received them. If not, you can reach out to me or Anshuman or the OC if you haven't yet. And also, please check your spam folder before reaching out to us. If it's not there as well, then you can definitely reach out to us and we'll sort it out. Yes. So getting the URL is will be your email ID or your spam folder. This is what it will look like. There will be also other important links like Discord, WhatsApp, group invite. So please also check for that and please join both of them. Then check-ins. So the check-ins would be beginning at I think 7:30 a.m. tomorrow IST. So once you click on your private URL, this is the window that you'll see, and there will be an option to check in. So once you check in, it will be checked in, and to know if you're actually checked in or not, if you have not checked in, it will show the check-in option, and if you have checked in, this option will turn into revoke check-in. So that's how check you've checked in or not. Then this is for feedback submission. The feedback is generally given filled by the teams for the chair most probably, or if the one of the panelists has given the OA, right? So you can also fill that for them. There will be a speaker scoring scale as well in the feedback itself. So you can refer to that to like score the judge who gave the OA. And please also give the feedback before the judge proceeds to like personal feedbacks for everyone. So once the OA is done, immediately fill the feedback for that. And after that, you can like proceed with getting personal feedback from the judge. Then for judges, the same option will be available in the private URL itself. As you can see, this will be your screen once you click on the private URL. And as you can see, there's written revoke check-in. So that's how you know that you have checked in actually. And there will be an option to submit the feedback for round one and round two and every respective round. So that's how you fill the feedback, the ballot. And if you know that there's a team which aren't person this round, so there will be an option in the ballot option itself that you can mark to check that there was an unperson team, and then you can just duplicate. There will be a small checkbox below the speaker score, and you have to check the box as the duplicate speech, of whichever score is lower from both the speeches. Then tech briefings. So hopefully all of you have joined the Discord server. And if you have not unlocked it, basically if you can't see any rooms available, you can only see the get role here channel and the landing pad, etc. So please go into the get role here channel and click on the emoji, whatever you are. So if you're a speaker, click on the first emoji. If you're a judge, click on the second emoji. Don't react to that message. There will be an option to click on the emoji. So that's how you will be able to unlock the whole server. So you can see every other channel that is there. And also we request you to rename your server profile name as D if you're a debater and then your name. And if you're Ash, then J and then your name. And it helps us track if everyone is present in the room itself. So yeah. Then there are different channels in Discord server. There is announcements where all important announcements will be made. Then the motion and the draw will be released in the draw and motion release channel. And if you want to ask any clarifications, there's a channel for that as well, which is motion clarification. The schedule will contain the schedule of the tournament. Then once these briefings are done, we will be sending the PDF version of it on the briefings and important links channel, so you can refer to them as well later on if you want. And there's a general chat as well where you guys can just interact with each other. Mm, So yeah, then there's also research channel. I think we will get to that later. Then the grand auditorium is where you can assemble for like motion announcements. So once the cap announces the motion verbally on the grand auditorium channel, you can refer to the motion slides on the motion and clarify draws, etc. emotional release channel. So there are also voice channels for everyone, every bench that is OG. So you can prepare in your channel OCG, CO, different channels for every one of them. Then there will be a debate room called the Arena, I think. So there is where the debate will take place, unless you guys want to shift to Google Meet, which you can do that as well. And there's a deliberation channel as well for the judges to finalize the verdict and prepare for the oral adjudication. So yeah, the reaching out. So if you have any doubts that you want to ask, or if you want to ask any questions to any department that is CAP, Equity, Tab, OC, so you can message here. And I advise you to also add the rate CAP if you're messaging on Ask CAP channel, or add the rate Equity, add the rate Tab, so that ensures that we will get the notifications no matter what. And if someone is missing from your debate, they are not responding, they haven't shown up, so you can ask, or you can send a message on someone is missing channel, and then OC will help you out tracking them. Then the disconnection policy. So this will be shared with you after these briefings are over. I'll just explain it in short that if the waiting time generally is 3 minutes for speaker and chair, and for panelist it's 2 minutes. And if they haven't shown up still, you can inform the OC in the Ask OC or someone is missing channel. So that is that. Then if someone who has already delivered that speech, you don't need to pause that speech or the debate. You can just inform the OC that this person has left the channel. And then someone who is yet to deliver the speech, again, you can wait, you can pause the debate, but up to only 2 minutes. And if they have not returned in those 2 minutes, you can ask or message on the someone is missing channel or ask for the channel. Um, so that is that, I think. And yeah, if the chair is missing from the debate room for like more than 3 minutes, the panelist will be upgraded to chair, and the ex-chair would not have any vote. They will be dropped from the tabs. Um, so yeah, that is a disconnection policy, and that will be the end of tab and tech briefings. If you guys have any questions, you can ask on the Ask Tab channel, or if you have any, even if you have not received any your private URLs, and if you have not filled the tab forms, please do so. Only after that we'll be able to send you the private URLs. Um, so yeah, that will be all from my side. Anshuman, sure, you guys can take over now.
Yep, thank you very much. Shujat, back to you.
Thank you so much, Deepankar, for that amazing tab briefings. Everybody, please make sure that you follow the tab guidelines that have been put forward. It would be very convenient and very easy for us to run the comp smoothly if you're able to go ahead and engage with the same. Moving forward now, would love to call upon the floor equity briefing. So, members of the equity committee, are you here?
Hello,
Evan, are we
yes.
ready? All right, perfect. Yep, equity, please go on. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Starting with the equity briefings for East India pre-worlds. Next slide. East India Pre-Worlds is committed to provide a tournament free from discrimination, harassment, bullying, and vilification, which fosters equity and inclusion and respecting social and cultural diversity. Please ensure that you maintain a space where all participants can feel welcome and you treat each other with dignity. Next slide. The scope of the equity policy. This policy applies to all participants at this tournament, including but not limited to debaters, adjudicators, CAP, members of the organizing committee, TAP team, observers, coaches, and members of the equity team. This policy applies for the entire duration of the tournament, including your conduct in online spaces like the Discord channel. Next slide. On this slide, you can see the protected attributes, which include age, disability, language status, gender identity, infectious disease, marital relationship status, sexual practices, political affiliations, personal experiences of pregnancy or abortion, ethno religious backgrounds, religious affiliation, beliefs, views, or practice, sex, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, and background. Next slide, please. Prohibited behavior. Bullying is the repeated, unreasonable behavior by an individual or group directed towards another individual or group, either physical or psychological, that intimidates, offends, degrades, or threatens. This includes pressuring another individual or group to do something that they are uncomfortable with. Direct discrimination. Direct discrimination is treating another individual or group less favorably based on a protected attribute that someone without that attribute in the same circumstances. Next slide, please. Indirect discrimination is imposing or proposing to impose a requirement, a condition, or practice that has or is likely to have the effect of disadvantaging an individual or group with a particular protected attribute and which is not reasonable in the circumstances. Harassment. Harassment is any unwelcome, offensive, abusive, belittling, or threatening behavior that humiliates, offends, or intimidates any individual or group based on a protected attribute. Next slide, please. Finally, victimization and vilification. Victimization is to cause detriment to a person because that person has made a complaint or taken part in complaint proceedings. Vilification is the public incitement of hate, contempt, or severe ridicule of another individual or group based on protected attributes. Please ensure that you do not partake in any such prohibited behavior throughout the entirety of this tournament. Over to the other members of the Equity Committee.
Hello. Yeah, starting with language barriers, right? Generalization is a very simple term. Like we encourage the avoidance of this language, such as all members of these particular X communities are characteristics of Y. We encourage offering, these nuances and clarity to this particular statement in the first place, right? Meaning that this helps to prevent the statement from being unintentionally offensive. A good rule of thumb is to, generally considering that if there is a member of this X particular committee in the audience, like would this particular statement that I will be making will be offensive or not, right? You have to make this generalization upon your own particular self. Second thing is graphics and visceral rhetorics. Some experiences are deeply traumatic for a particular person when they hear the description of that particular detail within a traumatic or a triggering, causing individuals to relieve that particular pain and relieve those pain in a particular experiences, right? So it's very easy to for you to avoid these particular language barriers. It will help them to provide a very smooth functioning within this particular debate, right? Moving on to the next slide. Yeah, personal attacks like such conduct may traumatize a particular person since you are referring to their background as holding relevance to the chances of winning or losing a particular argument, right? Second, coming to reclaiming language, right? This policy recognizes the right of members of marginalized and oppressed group may be use reclaim language, but its use by a non-member can be seen as offensive or non-continuation of this oppression in the first place, originally associating this from their own particular language. And again, avoiding slur is very very simple thing. That basic thing you can do is like a slur is a basic term designated to insult other based upon a particular protected attribute. The use of slurs, epithets, and derogatory of insulting term is not allowed. Second, uh, yeah, gender pronoun policy. At all instances, participants are encouraged to use a gender neutral pronouns like they, unless specific consent knowledge exists as to the preferred pronouns of the individual you are addressing. Any participants may choose to state their pronouns while introducing themselves in the starting of the speech, right? Again, either during a round or at any other point in the course of the tournament. Kindly refrain from pre-assuming a particular person's gender of any participant, and you should and again, if you may misgender anyone accidentally, immediately apologize and move on with your speech or conversation that is happening. Unintentionally misgenderizing as well as deliberating, mocking the importance of using respectful language to address each other will be seen as an impact of degrading a person's or a group's identity, thereby violating the equity policy. Next slide. Yeah, interaction with minors. Again, in this, minors as speakers, adjudicators are not allowed to give personal critique via personal one-to-one message or in a room alone to a minor speakers. This is in line with the principal decision to not have a minor and non-minor participants alone in a room or to have one-on-one personal messages. This is to minimize the room for any misdemeanor. A team of two minors, however, can be on the same server as an adjudicator and take personal feedback from them in a public space. Alternatively, the minor participants can ask their coaches or any other appointed person to message the adjudicator for personal feedback. In case as an adjudicator wants to contact a member of team consisting of two minors, they can do via equity committee itself, right? Again, next slide. Again, minors as adjudicator, minor adjudicators may not provide a personal feedback unless they are asked specifically. A minor adjudicator can, provide a personal feedback to a single speaker one to one. If one adjudicator is uncomfortable being alone with a group of adult speakers for constructive and for personal feedback, they may ask their coach or directly any equity member for any other appointed person to accompany them in the room or any other platform that is being used for communication. Next slide. Yeah, on to Alithya for the coming speeches.
Right. So the policy for opt-out and iron person for this comp will be simple. Teams can iron person around in case there is any topic that they're faced with that they do not wish to debate at all, because it will force them into any kind of triggering or uncomfortable situation. If the entire team finds this entire set of motions triggering, then they can opt out of the round itself. But teams are only allowed to opt out for 2 in round maximum, especially upon prior approval of the equity committee. This is exclusive of one equity opt-out policy, not iron person. Right. You must opt out of the debate before the motion releases. No mid-debate opt-outs will be permissible at all. Guidelines for adjudicators is simple. If a particular motion in a round makes you uncomfortable and you cannot impartially judge that debate or you're uncomfortable with it, you can let the cap know immediately and you can opt out of that particular round. How exactly then do you submit an equity complaint? There are various ways that you can do it. That is anonymous and non-anonymous complaints. Both can be raised during the tournament using the complaint form. If you are filing a complaint anonymously, you are encouraged to appoint a point of contact as well. In complaint handling, three things are going to happen. Primarily, the conduct of hearing, which is recorded in writing with the complainant to obtain full details of the incident. Secondarily, we conduct a hearing, which is with the offending participant to hear their side of the story. Third, the hearing is done with any other participant that is required regarding the circumstances itself, etc. How does the equity process function then? The equity committee will determine whether or not a breach of policy has occurred. At any point during this process, before any based resolution, if you think that you want to withdraw the complaint, you may do so. In that case, whatever investigation was ongoing automatically ceases as well. For the resolution mechanism, we explain the complaint to the offending participant and we have a discussion with them regarding why the remark or action was inappropriate and not acceptable. Second, we issue a warning to the offending participant. Third, we request that the offending participant provide an apology, whether it be written or oral, depending on our discretion. And fourth, we bring the relevant participants together to conciliate the entire dispute. Fourth, what penalties do we have in that case? We can bar from any formal or informal event organized by the tournament. Second, expulsion from the tournament. Third, you can be removed from the tab either temporarily or permanently. Fourth, blacklisting of the team from future editions of the tournament. Fifth, you can approach the debate society of the guilty party with the complainant. And last is legal recourse. In determining the appropriate resolution mechanism, the equity team will be regarding certain factors, including but not limited to the context of the offense that takes place, the wishes of the victim, including the impact or the likely impact that occurred on them, the position of the complainant in society, and whether they suffer from patterns of disadvantage or they belong to a certain group that suffers from similar patterns as well. Also, whether the violation has occurred in part of an ongoing pattern of behavior and whether the application has any relevant laws. Any participant subject to disciplinary action may appeal the decision within 12 hours of receiving notification. Complainants also have a right to appeal under the same conditions. This is our contact information. You may note them down. The slides are also going to be shared. We encourage you to reach out to us in case you have any complaints or any issues. Thank you. Shiv Bhaiya, you can take over.
Thank you so much to the Equity Committee for giving us the amazing equity briefings. We keep this in mind, and everybody, please make sure that you follow the equity guidelines as have been specified. And last but not the least, we'll proceed forward with some outcome briefings from outcomes end. Rajat, you can start over.
Yeah. I'll just start over. Could someone just share the screen? Just give me a sec. I'll just share the screen. Can someone else do it for me? Because I could be. No, no, it's okay. I'll. Is the screen visible? Wait a sec. Let me just switch on my video as well. Uh, Extremely sorry for the delay, guys. Yep, I'm ready, and this is Rajat. Oh, oh, wow. Just taking good amount of time. All right. Can someone please confirm whether this uh, slide is visible or not? The tournament policy.
Yes.
Awesome. So basically, what's tournament policy? Apart from normal tech briefings and equity briefings, there are some discretionary powers that even the OC has, which means they can take certain steps in case the participants do not follow few rules or participants do not follow few guidelines, which is completely different from an equity policy or like a tab policy at the end of the day. Myself, Rajat, I'm the co-convener of East India Pre-Worlds, and I'll be briefing about the normal tournament policy or the OC policies that we will be talking about. And you must make sure that you keep all these things in your mind in order to have a great experience in East India Pre-World, so that we don't even badger you in its rounds and it's not a hurdle for you at any point in time. All right, first, OC has discretionary capacity to disqualify teams on the grounds in violation of the equity policy, and upon the hearing by the equity, the team should choose to course. Just wait a sec. Um, all right. Uh, Equity policy, and upon hearing by the equity team, should they choose the course of action. What does this mean? Basically means at any point in time, if the equity committee has given a decision, and if you do not follow that particular decision and you continue doing something and you do not follow it, the OC has all discretionary power to actually disqualify you from from East India pre-worlds. Secondly, in violation of the tech policy of the tournament, strict adherence to Discord, WhatsApp, Gmeet for tournament purposes. What does this mean? At any point in time, if you do not follow the guidelines given by the tech team, which basically means that now you do not follow, say, Discord, WhatsApp, or Gmeet, or the ethics inside this particular like softwares, this would probably mean that now, so this OC committee in general have the power. The OC has the power to disqualify those teams if they violate these policies. Thirdly, strict adherence to iron person policy of 3 in rounds, with 2 in rounds iron person and 1 equity opt out, based on the nature of the motions, in violation on which you shall not be allowed to break. All right, this is not nowhere related to disqualification, but you have to follow these rules to keep this in mind. What does this mean? Strict adherence to iron person policy of 3, which basically means out of that, 2 are proper iron person, which basically means 2 rounds you can actually debate with one team member. In case one of the team members are not present in that particular debate, you can solely participate as a team, but this is only up to 2 rounds out of the 5 in rounds. This is only for the in rounds. This is not applicable for any of the out rounds, which means you can do 2 iron person in rounds at +1, which is an equity opt out. What does an equity opt out mean? I'm sure that the equity team have already briefed you about equity opt out, but equity opt out basically means if the motion in itself is making you uncomfortable or biased enough, not debate in that particular motion, you can choose only after equity discussion, you can choose to actually opt out of that particular round, right? Which basically means you have 3 rounds in hand where you can probably do an iron person. But again, this third round in general, this third round which is mentioned here about equity opt-out is based on the nature of the motions, which basically means the equity committee would take care of this. Means you have to go through an equity committee, or else you would not be allowed to break. Which basically means, okay, fine, you can probably have, you can go do four iron person or five iron person, but in any point in time, if you cross this particular mark of three, which consists of two iron person and one equity opt out, you won't be eligible to break into the tournament. Breaking basically means that, yeah, simple, you can't go into the knockout phase of the tournament, which means your journey would, or like would be like only of 5 rounds, and that's it. After that, even if you're eligible to break in, like in terms of your speaker scores or the your ranking in the tabby, but still you won't be eligible because simply you have not like adhered to this iron person policy. Next, tournament policy requires all participants, both debaters and judges, to fulfill four in rounds criteria to be on the tab, failing which they will be disqualified from the tournament. What does this mean? Disqualification of this tournament, this is a harsh word, but let me just explain this. If you are absent for more than say more than one round, your or like your name in the tabby won't be shown. Which means, in order for you to come into the rankings of say speakers or adjudicators, make sure to attend minimum of four in rounds to be eligible to go and be in the rankings of the in or being the rankings in the tabby, which means if you have attended only 3 rounds, your name, your scores won't be into in the ranking, in the actual rankings of the tabby. Your names would be probably be at the in would be at the bottom, irrespective of how good your speaker scores is or how good your ad scores is. Simply you have to fulfill minimum of 4 rounds in order to keep your name or have your name into the main speaker in the main rankings of, say, speakers as well as adjudicators. Fifth, out rounds cannot be iron person by teams. If found, will be led to automatic disqualification. Very simple. As I've said, the the iron person policy is only confined to in rounds. It's not allowed. It's not applicable to any of the out rounds, right? Which basically means if we find out, if we discover that you are iron personing an out round, you would be disqualified there itself. Sixth, anyone found to be overly aggressive with OC and the members of CAP Tab Equity will be automatically disqualified and revoked from the tournament depending on the aggression. This is very simple. Please, guys, this is a very good, very friendly first edition comp. We really encourage you guys to maintain your ethics and maintain your disciplinary measures and stuff, which means at any point in time, do not be harsh to any of the OC member, CAP member, and not even any of the participants around you. Don't be harsh towards the adjudicator or any other teammates, because again, if you do so, equity team is always ready to like catch hold of you. But apart from that, if you are rude to any of the OC members or CAP, TAB, equity, or anyone who are part of the organization committee, you would be disqualified there and there itself, and strict actions could also be taken, depending on the aggression of this on the depending on the scale of aggression of which how you actually aggressive to these particular members. Seven. Lastly, OC has discretionary power to enforce these guidelines to the extent they wish to on based on reasons the OC will deliberate upon. What does this mean? OC has good amount of power to actually fulfill all these measures which was mentioned here to such an extent post a particular deliberation. You don't have to worry. We are not biased towards any people, but at any point in time, if we feel that any of the action done by any of the speaker, judge, or any of the participant in the particular committee, which is do not adhere to any of the guidelines or which is ethically, morally, or actually wrong, we can probably go and we can disqualify you on the grounds, which can only happen after thorough OC deliberation. Cool. These are the things. Next, things you have to keep in mind. These are the miss. This doesn't go with you being disqualified, but you have to make sure that you even follow these 3 points. If there's no runners, chair take control. We'll do our best to give or give. We'll do our best to give each rooms a runner. What does this mean? Runners will be OC organization committee will be trying their best to have organizing committee would be trying their best to have like to keep runners in every single room. But in case due to an issue or due to a technical glitch, if there are no runners in a particular room, let the chairs must be taking the role of the runners. They must be like lobbying the whole thing, probably if required, showing the timer and stuff. But at no point in time, absence of runners should not be a reason of the rounds to be delayed or the debates to be halted at any point. If there are no runners, the chairs take over as runners. Second, 4 rounds in one day, hence no delays, please. Keep delips to 15 minutes and OA for 7 minutes, else OC will disrupt you. As you know, guys, the schedule is very, very, very packed. The end of the day, we really don't want delays, which basically means now we really want you guys to cooperate with us, which means you have to restrict your delips to 15 minutes, which was the deliberation time between the chair and the panel and the other judges in the particular room must be restricted to 15 minutes, and the OA by the chair must be restricted to 7 minutes as well. If not done, the OC would disrupt you and would take measures accordingly. Third, please fill ballots and feedbacks on fellow judges and teams as soon as delib is done. And before OA starts, ballots should be filled, and right after OA feedback should be given by the teams, else we will not go ahead of OC, not go ahead, or OC will hunt you down. What does this mean? I mean, firstly, very simple. Before the OA starts, once the deliberation gets over, judges make sure that the ballots are filled. Secondly, once the OA is done, teams kindly fill the ballot, kindly fill the like feedbacks. If you don't do so, I mean, the breaks would be delayed. I mean, the OC will hunt you down, which means at any point in time, if we see that there are missing feedbacks, we can't release the breaks, we can't release the tabby, which means it would be a tough time for you as well. Obviously, it would be a tough time for us, but at the end of the day, it would be us who would be hunting you down to get those feedbacks from yourself, right? From yours, right? Which means kindly, please, uh, submit the feedbacks, and all judges please restrict your deliberations to 15 minutes only, and before giving your OA, and once the delib gets over, make sure the ballots are filled. With that, that's all the things that you have to keep in mind, and all the things that you have, that discretionary powers that OC have, to actually disqualify you from a comp. With that, yeah, thank you so much, guys. Let's just like we I congratulate you for being into this particular one of the biggest pre-worlds in India right now, with over 65, 70 teams. We are actually one of the biggest pre-worlds hosted by any institution in India. So congratulations for being a part, and all the very best, and hope let's have a very good experience. OC is trying their best to give you the best experience possible. The cap, equity, tab, the OC, everyone who is actually working behind is giving their best to give a best experience to you. So yeah, you to follow a few deadlines given to us. You to stick yourself to all the guidelines and the equity policies and tap policy and stuff. If you do so, and you don't have to worry about the OC. OC is always on their toes as well, which means we can ourselves together we can have a very good the first edition of East India Pre-Worlds. And yeah, let's have a great experience, guys. That's all from myself. Thank you so much.